This is conspiracy hardcore stuff here. For over 50 years and thousands of hours of space travel footage, neither NASA or any other countries is there an external shot for the astronauts completes a single act of panning. Never. Panning the camera 180 degrees, let alone a full 360 sweep. This has never happened on any moon mission, any exterior space station, not ever. Statistics would tell you that it would have happened by accident at least once by now. It hasn't because they can't break the rule, the same rule that applies to a television show. Never show the fourth wall, because there is no fourth wall. That is where the cameramen are. Number 2, when you search online for pictures of the years in space, 95% of what you see are a collection of artificial composite shots. You can do this. You can do this now. It's what you're going to see. What do you think, Tony?
I feel like we have seriously been approaching this, among other things, the wrong way. We're trying to use these conventional methods, bombs and airplanes and ships, but nobody ever tries to approach it from a spiritual aspect. You know, maybe it has something to do with frequency. Maybe that's why you can't penetrate this barrier. Maybe it's meant to keep someone of your wavelength out. Maybe you have to have a higher consciousness. I mean, because let's look at psychokinesis. Psychokinesis, you can warp matter mentally and form it any way you want. Why couldn't you do that with the barrier if you have that capability? Or maybe there's, going back to Stargate, we were talking about, the ancient technology. You have to have the ancient gene to operate it, or you have to have you have to be injected with the ancient gene. Maybe that's a component to this. I mean, have they really explored everything? Because I feel like the stuff that they don't talk about, we know that the governments, at least America and Russia, has done some psychic research. Well, I'm pretty sure that they've tried to, or at least if I was working for them, I would have told them, hey, why not try this? But I'm pretty sure that they've tried it already.
For sure. When we're talking about the world change, Second World War, it wasn't just metal we're talking about here. We're talking about they contacted something, channeled or otherwise. And all of these nuclear explosions, whether they meant it or not, has caused rips and tears that we see in the sky right now. And with all the people who are channeling very similar information or copying down the information that they obviously want us to know, then there must be a spiritual aspect to this, as there is with everything. Must be.
Well, look at the Philadelphia experiment when people were transported through time, but they couldn't go past 2012 because there was some kind of barrier.
Another barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps another mythos of Under the Dome.
Something to keep us in check, keep us from going out there and mucking around in other realms.
When I see shots of the Earth, they have to say in small little letters that they are composite shots. I found one from about 2000 showing part of Africa and Antarctica. So with all the pictures of the Earth, they are simulated images. There are HD cameras everywhere, watching everything. Satellites doing the exact same thing. How come no one is taking an actual shot of planet Earth? Perhaps because you can't get an altitude to do it. You can't get high enough, and no commercial air travel routes for the southern hemisphere again. And it's easy to check. Take a map, move the distance between anywhere near Australia, anywhere in South America, straight line across the South Pacific. Find your favorite travel site and try to get there nonstop. I know some people say that, they may have done it if you threw enough money at it. But why do planes disappear in the south, as we have talked about? They disappear a little ways from land. They are no longer on the GPS. They're not. Where do they go? Why are there layovers? It's only blind luck in Canada and United States and, us in the Northern Hemisphere. Otherwise, traffic wouldn't have really raised my eyebrows. But it's lunacy. People to tell you straight and look you straight in the face that all the leaders of the world are reptilians and lizards, and yet they laugh at this, and I'm going to say it, flat Earth. And I realize that's, close enough to saying heresy now. Saying no aliens. There may be other dimensional things, but I'm talking about conspiracy here, and it's a big one. And there's some things, and I'm, a big conspiracy girl. Love to research. I would not look at this because it was embarrassing, right? But every time I look now, there is something unresolved. And something that seems to be covered up to such perfection, Tony, that everyone's in on it, and the only place in the world where nobody's fighting is in Antarctica. It proves that they can get along. It proves that they can. They're choosing not to.
Almost completely untouched.
Not colonized. People go there, they have military camps there, and that's, you can see what that place looks like.
A few little research stations, that's about it.
Yeah, they go and science, and we have Vostok. Pristine, beautiful, except nobody bombs there. Each other. They have to explode stuff to get under the ice. But they're not killing each other, no matter what little wars are going on. They don't fight each other there. So they are choosing all of this circus that is going on the planet, but they won't do it there. That means that they don't hate each other, that I am not making this up, that there's groups doing this to us on purpose and leaving themselves alone for there.
Well, yeah, it keeps us distracted. Keeps us disconnected. Because if we're disconnected from each other, we're disconnected from ourselves, then we can't use our abilities, our natural psychic abilities to see beyond.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have been uncovered all this stuff that they've put together.
Yeah. And listening to the things that Byrd said, really said, live out air, on a news program, when that used to mean something, was enough. I look at things that have happened on this planet. JFK, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, to me, inevitable. When you blow up people's families and kill their children, they're going to strike back. But this global Lucian agenda has run strong for the last 500 years. Time to start again. Even if that means we end up getting attention to who and what created that force, this place, and has reset the world over and over. You know, the current map projections used by the USGS, United Nations logo, Flat Earth Society, high altitude nuclear tests, the Antarctic Treaty, all of those things point to something to me. Not imagined, but real. Real. And the total denial of it, the fever of the attacks you get when you talk about this kind of thing. Even there's this place online called the Flat Earth Society. Only has about 500 members. But they are getting attacked. Huge. Every day. And it makes no sense for a site that has 500 members and equally the same amount of trolls. I think I'm seeing something here. Clues. A series of clues. And a deception. They obviously don't hate each other because there's peace on one place. You know, if they really want to fight, they will make the technology to do it.
No, you have to be trained to hate. Think about when we were a baby. As babies, do we just naturally hate? Aren't we naturally loving beings? Don't you have to be taught the difference between color and race and gender and all that separation?
Yeah, you absolutely do. And I have to apologize to Awake Radio today. I'm not sure what's going on, but it didn't connect. I'll fix that after the show, guys. I'll send you the station. Actually, maybe I can pick it up right now. Go on, Tony. Sorry about that.
No, I was just saying that, you know, we're programmed to be disconnected from one another and even ourselves. I remember one of the earliest books I read as a child, talking about ESP and auras and stuff, spoke about, and I remember this as a child, seeing different colors around people. You know, you hear a child say, oh, the sky is red, or that person is blue, and that person might have a blue shirt, and you're like, oh, no, the shirt's blue, and, you know, the kid's thinking like, nah, that's not what I was talking about, but, you know, whatever, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. You know, we naturally see these things. We naturally come in this world being able to see things and know things. I know that for a fact because of the stuff I was into, given my living situation and or my environment, I should say. My environment was completely toxic, and my grandmother and my mom made the best of it. You know, they did their best to, you know, keep me safe and stuff like that. But, you know, I definitely shouldn't have been, you know, by society standards into the things that we talk about.
Yeah, you have to. You have to learn this. You have to learn this. You have to be taught to hate. You have to be. Children don't know this. Adults know this because they've been trained to do it. Kids don't, on their own. Kids don't.
You know, I never understood in hospitals, why do we spank babies? Because if you look at midwives and when they give natural births, they don't do that.
No.
So
No,
let the trauma begin. Got to get you ready.
Yeah. They train you from birth.